Everybody, we are back with another review, and today we're going to be checking out the full line of the Caddyshack Funko Pops from the Pop Movies line. So without further ado, let's hop right into this review. So straight off the bat, we're going to kind of go through all the Pops in their box, and then we'll do another round through and we'll take them out and we'll check out the chases, the exclusives, and compare them to the standard commons, you know what I'm saying? So let's start off with Carl Spackler. There's Carl Spackler right there with his little gopher grenades and little squirrel grenades. And you got a nice little camo hat. We'll check them out in a little more detail there in a second. There he is on the side as well. So we got Carl Spackler at number 723. Next we got Al Servic. He's like the real estate mogul in the movie, played by Rodney Dangerfield. Bill Murray playing Carl Spackler, which you got his little outfit from when he played golf. Pretty cool there. So we got 721 Al Servic. Next we got Judge Smales. You got Judge Smales. It looks like he's in that action scene where he throws the glove right there. No, I was gonna say the racket. He throws the club and it breaks that table and whatnot. It looks like that's the scene. He even has the little under eye right there. But you got Judge Smales. And then next we have the exclusive for Judge Smales. This is the Fye Exclusive, where he's got the hat that Rodney Dangerfield made fun of. But that is Judge Smales in the hat with the same pose that he threw the club with. Next we got the Gopher. This is the Gopher that caused so much havoc, but I guess made the movie what it is. So we have the Gopher common right there. Pretty cool. Next, we're going to have the Flocked Gopher. You can check out that nice flockage there. Flocked Gopher. This was a Target exclusive. And yeah, the Flocked Gopher. I mean, the Flocked Gopher definitely, I mean, we're going to go look at them and compare them, but I think it definitely gives it a better look over the plain common Gopher. Next on the list, and last on the list, I guess, is the last two Ty Webbs. So we got Ty Webb here at number 720, and we showed you the chase in my top 10 pop video, but this one is the Ty Webb regular pop, 720, and then the chase version of him is with the blindfold on. There's him with the blindfold right there. Same pose. Now, to me, I don't know. I think that the line itself, we'll pop these. Let's start popping these open and we'll check them out. Now, I got let's go through this side, actually. We'll go through, yeah, we'll do. Yeah, there we go. Got the little letter opener there. We're just going to pop it open. Try to molest the box as least as possible. But this set, I think, I mean, if this is the only waves that they're doing, I don't know. I mean, I feel like they need to do more waves of this line. They're missing like Danny Newman that they could have put in there. There's a lot of things they could have done a little differently. They could have done some of the other characters as well. So there we go. We got Ty Webb with the club. The club kind of looks like it's kind of bending a little bit down. Just a little straightening out, but it still returns down to that little area. So we got the chase Ty Webb right there. His hat is so white and bright. We'll get the, let's see if we can get the other box started here. And then we got the non-chase Ty Webb there. Put those up there. And there is the non-chase Ty Webb there. We'll put him there. And now we'll check them out together next to each other. So now everything about them is absolutely identical. Even the golf balls are, I mean, they're all in the same position. I mean, the club itself is kind of bent, but the figure itself is pretty much identical. It looks like they just added a bandana on top of the head sculpt or something like that. Or they just did a new mold for it. But that is the only difference between this particular chase, which, again, I think this is really authentic to the movie. I think this is a really good chase for this particular character. I wouldn't have done it any different, and he's definitely a character to have a chase of in this particular series. But I do think it's missing a couple characters, which is, you know, it is what it is. Some of the, I imagine they do like waves of these characters, so we'll put these guys off to the side over here and let them hang out for a little bit while we go to the next one, which let's do with the common Gopher. Let's do the common Gopher. Let's do the common Gopher next. And then, so yeah, Ty Webb definitely is probably my favorite out of the set here when it comes to the pops that they did for this movie. Oh, the Gopher might be second. The Gopher might be second. Pop out the Gopher. Pop him out of the box. Let's get his little plastic out of the way here. Here's the Gopher. He's in that one solid stance. Looks like his tail is pretty solid on there. Nice. Cool little look. He's got those eyes. He's got that big beaver mustache, or not beaver, Gopher mustache. But yeah, you can check that out. You're gonna see now the flocked one, which is gonna be, I think, going to be one of my favorites. Now this one only came in the Caddyshack box with the hat. So if you bought that, that's how you got this, or you bought it on the secondary market from somebody, or somebody bought the box and sold it to somebody at a shop or something, and that's how you got it. But that's how they dropped this. It was only in that box, and the flockage. There you go. There's the flockage on there. It's got some flocking giblets all over it. Probably just needs a little lint roll, but other than that, pretty solid pop. Oop, we got a little run there, a little run and a little giblet from the flockage. But other than that, I mean, it looks awesome. I mean, they flock everything when they flock these pops like this. I love the flocked version of this. When I compare the two together, this one just looks like a cheap plastic Gopher. This one looks like a flocked beast. I mean, they even did it where the hands aren't flocked, so it looks just like a normal, like, shiny paw. So cool. Definitely like the flocked version over the common on this one. I mean, some pops just really, they really work that flockage really well. Probably why Tony the Tiger is such a rare ad icon to get, because he works that flockage well. It works well with the pop that he has. So that's why I think I like the Gopher that much compared to the other ones that are in this series. But I mean, all the characters are obviously memorable, especially if you like the movie itself. Here is Judge Smales, common form. He's got that club in his hand, that white hair, pretty decent paint job on the pop too. Shoes nice and shiny brown. No lace paint job on these, so no lace paint job at all on that. And then you got the head turns, of course, and he's got the club right there. He's ready to just toss that. He's ready to just toss it. But there's the common right there. We'll put that right there, and we'll bust out the Fye Exclusive. Now this one, everything that you see here I acquired out in the wild, except for this Fye Exclusive, which was very difficult to track down, even not in the wild. So it took a while for it to become pretty commonplace on the interwebs, on the resale market like eBay or other websites I was looking at like Macari. Very difficult to find it at first when the initial dropped. But this little fedora hat here that he has with this nice paint job, which is the one from the movie. A little Funko went a little wacky there with the spacing on the lines, or missed a couple lines, I should say. Interesting. But you got the hat makes it the Fye Exclusive. I mean, everything else on the pop is exactly the same. And then let's compare the two pops together here. Again, exactly the same, just a fedora. Nothing else is different on the pop. It's literally just I imagine they must have molded a hat for it, but it's just a head swap on those particular two pops right there. And look at the hat. The hat takes up so much area when you put it next to the non-hatted version. Next we got Al Servic. Let's check him out. Let's pop him out of the box here. Again, the butter knife or a nice letter opener really works well opening these up. It doesn't crease the top at all, especially if you do it right. It just allows you to look at your pops and get into your pops without having to worry about, I guess, damaging the box just to check your pops out. Because even if you're a collector and you want to leave your pops in the box, sometimes you need to take the pops out of the box to check them out to make sure that they're painted properly. Like the Gopher, when I checked the Gopher out, I didn't even know that the Gopher had a run in the flockage. Like if you look at the flocking right here, there's a run right there where you can see the plastic exposed, and you can see that the flocking is, let me get that focus. You can see that the flocking is almost like pushed forward like that. Now I would have never known that if, and the eye's not scratched, not that the eye was scratched, but I would have never known that if I didn't take it out of the box. And that lets me know that this isn't 100% mint. You know what I mean? Obviously I took it out of the box and handled it, but something like this is permanent damage for sure on the pop itself. And that's something that I'd want to know if I'm collecting this. I want to be able to have the confidence to know that the paint job is correct, or maybe there's like an error in the paint on the back. So taking your pops out of the box is a necessity, and doing it safely, using something like a butter knife or a letter opener, is what you're going to want to do. So next we have Al Servic, and that is him doing that Rodney Dangerfield little jazz move with his hands, talking with his hands, wearing crazy clothes. Pretty good paint job on there. The jacket is pretty neat, definitely represents the movie. I mean, they're very accurate with the movie portrayals in this particular release and this drop. You even got the little rolled rope right there on the top of the hat for his little snapback. He's got a snapback on. So there's Al Servic right there. Now, it would have been cool if they did this. If they did, so they did chases, or I should say exclusives or slash chases for all the other characters except for Carl and Al Servic over here. So if they did like a chase for Servic, maybe they could have done Servic with the that crazy bag that he had or something. I don't know. They could have done something definitely different and done like another chase and made it fun with that particular pop for sure. And then you got Carl Spackler here, which is played by Bill Murray. And then we'll slide that. Right there. And we'll just slide him out of his plastic for now. And let's check out Carl Spackler. Pretty cool. I like the camo pattern on the hat. Look at that. That's pretty cool. Now they did an amazing job with the top of this hat. This is a common. This is a great paint job. But for some reason, whoever painted this couldn't figure out the lines. Like you could see where this green line would go down and make a line in between those two. And then like these don't even line up. It's just very interesting that the exclusive FYE one of Judge Smales has like such a bad paint job on the hat. I mean, the lines don't even kind of flow out to the edge of the brim evenly. Like it's really thick over here with brim, and then over here it's really thin. So I find that very interesting that they didn't do that. And then they made these seams line up in the front of his hat. I feel like they could have done a better job with designing the paint job on this. Much like how they did with Carl Spackler over here. Because, I mean, Spackler's paint job on that hat is superb. Look at that camo pattern. Very cool. And then you got the little loose tie for the hat. They did a really good job with this particular pop. And to be honest with you, out of all the pops in this particular set, I would say this is probably the most highly detailed one out of all of them. Because they even did, I mean, look at this. They even did the rungs on the laces for his boots right there. Look at that. That's something that you would totally overlook, that they didn't do on anyone else's shoes. Everyone else's shoes that they did for this whole set are all plain. I mean, look at even these, the two-tone ones. It's just two-tone. Smales shoes are just straight brown. I mean, he was an exclusive. And then the Ty Webb ones, I mean, they're not even painted right. So he's got two-tone shoes, but they're not even painted right. But they went to the point on Carl Spackler to go to the detail of painting those little silver rings around the lace holes, which is totally cool. And the sculpting of the little squirrel and rabbit here are very, very accurate. And I really think they did a good job with that. And they're nice that he's kind of holding on to them in his hands. This is definitely a cool pop, and he pretty much wears the same. Oh, they even got the sweat mark on his back. And that's something that you wouldn't notice either. When you go into the whole thing, you're just seeing the front of him. You're only seeing the front of this particular pop. You would never see that he has this wet mark right here on his back, which is totally accurate to the movie. He's just sweating the whole dang movie. You could even now notice the sweat mark that's underneath his lanyard from his neck sweat. So they did that much detail on this particular pop. When it comes to the other ones, like Ty Webb, I mean, he just has his tan shirt from the movie. Do you know what I mean? But they painted the buttons on that. That's about as far as they went with that detail. But they painted the sweat on his back. That is amazing. So the level of detail on Carl Spackler is A+. I'd probably say he's probably the most highly detailed pop in this particular set. Probably the most, my favorite of mine would probably be the Ty Webb Chase. That's definitely a favorite of mine for sure. And I think when it comes to flocked figures, the Gopher definitely takes the cheese, looking really nice flocked like that. I think those are probably like my top 3 favorite pops from this particular set. But the whole set's totally cool. I mean, who doesn't like Caddyshack? And having the pops all over here, I mean, it would be neat if eventually they came up with some kind of a diorama or live action scene that you could actually maybe put these pop figures in some kind of a action pose or some kind of a scene or something like that for display, like a specific to maybe Caddyshack, where it'd be like a golf scene and you can display your pops for that particular set in a certain way. I imagine there'd be tons of those if they did one for each and every set, but I think it would be something that they can make money on, and it would be something that collectors would want, would be an official Funko type display case that would be scene specific for a specific set. I mean, they could even do like chase sets where they do different types of scenes and stuff that are more limited than other ones. I mean, it could definitely be a moneymaker, and they could put a cover on it, which would even be more beneficial to the pops, is where you can unbox your pops like this and have them, not tucked away in a box displayed somewhere, but they're in a live action scene from the whatever show or movie or series that they're trying to be from, whatever fandom they're from. It would be that specific, and it would have a nice little plastic little drop down thing that you could either add on, or something that is automatically always on there that'll guard your pops from getting dusty, so you can have them out the box. You can have your flock Tony the Tiger out the box inside of a display case, because it's not going to get any dust on the flockage. I think that would be something that they should definitely think of or consider. And if you did something like the ad icons, where you could even have like a specific designation, or like almost like a checklist where you have your display, or you have your display for these particular pieces right here, where they all go in maybe a certain spot, or I don't know how you would do it, but I think it's definitely an idea that they could start off with, because I think something for these particular pops right here, that would be like a golf scene, where you can kind of have them all, where you have like Carl Spackler in the background, you have the Gopher where he's trying to go after the Gopher, you have the golfers, they're all doing their golf thing, and you could swap out Ty Webb for the chase one. I don't know. I think it's definitely something that you could have a really good time with if you designed it and you had some kind of a scene for a diorama. Because, I don't know, just looking at this particular group of pops right here, I think they would all work well in one particular scene. I guess certain things, they might not work well in a particular scene. Like if you have 50 Star Wars figurines, maybe you do it scene specific. I don't know. Anyway, we're going down too far down the rabbit hole here. This is just a review on the Caddyshack pops, and I think these were amazing. I think this is a great set, and yeah, if you like seeing these pops get unboxed, let me know down in the comments below, because I'll do more videos where I show the pops. I am a completionist, where I like to have the regular and the chase versions or the exclusive versions of all the pops that I'm collecting. So I like seeing the comparisons between those two. So if you like me doing the comparisons, like showing you the exclusive where it's flocked versus the standard one or common one, let me know down in the comments below, because that's something that I like to personally look at when I'm collecting the pops and selling the pops and flipping the pops. It's nice to be able to know the differences of everything that's going on, especially knowing that Carl Spackler has a sweat stain on his back. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more content like this, subscribe for more. I do reviews every single day, so be on the lookout for that. And have a great rest of your day.